Hello everyone and welcome. I'm super excited today because I'm going to be talking about color management in Divi. Not just normal color, but color management. We want our websites to be updated dynamically across the whole website by the tricks that I'm going to show you in this video. So normally when we use color in Divi, we go to the color palette. So let me just show you quickly the workflow here. So I'm going to start off with creating a brand new page. All right, so I'm going to go to all pages. By the way, this is live, so if you have any questions throughout this workshop, you can just go ahead and ask me and I'll do my best to respond to your questions. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to open up a quick themes options here so we can see where we are. I'm just going to go to my dashboard. So in the previous workflows, this is how I used to teach you guys how to add your colors to your website. So I would say, come over here. Go to theme options, and then I would say go to your color palettes or create a color palette like this, for example, and then copy your colors and paste them. So you'd come over here, copy your colors, and then you would come over here and paste them. So once you've done that, if you hit save changes, when you start designing your website, you are going to see this color palette pretty much everywhere that you design. So let's do a quick example here so I can show you. So you know that green color that we just added? If I were to come over here to a page, let's go to all pages. And let's say we are working on a new page. So let's just call this test so you can see what I mean. All right, so I'm going to say use Divi Builder. I can see quite a few of you guys have joined me. I've got Ralph here from Spain. Good to see you, Ralph. That's pretty awesome. And by the way, guys, just let me know where you're watching this from. That would be really awesome as well. Just type it in the comments box. All right, so what I've done here is I've gone ahead and I have added the theme builder. So I'm going to add a bit of text here. So let's say I've added text. And now we want to go in and add some color. Would come over here, text, and you see now the color palette is right here. The problem now comes, let's say when you want to change your branding or your client says to you, you know what, that green you used is not really the shade of green that I like. I would like you to change it, please. Now, imagine you have, say, 20 pages on your website. You would need to go to each and every page and change that, unless, of course, you have some presets done. But you would need to go to all those 20 pages and update wherever you've used that color. And this can be very, very time consuming and frustrating. And sometimes you can miss a few areas where you've applied that color. So it's very, very difficult to get it done, and it takes a long time. All right, so okay, so let's continue on here. So what I want to do is I want to do a quick demo where I'll be showing you exactly how you should apply your colors and how this will work much easier for you. So like I said here, this color palette, of course, it will be pretty much everywhere because we set it up in the theme builder. But this is not the ideal way to do this. So I've been working, creating a lot of videos every now and again, and I realized that the more I create Divi tutorials and I create new websites pretty much every day, this is not the ideal way of creating your color palettes. All right, so let me show you how it needs to be done. So I want to show you this with a demo. So what I'm going to do first is I am going to install my Divi design guide. It just makes it easier for me to design my website. So let's go ahead. Let me create a brand new page here. So I'm going to call this, in fact, let's discard and exit. So I've already gone ahead and downloaded it, by the way. So I'm just going to call this style guide. And by the way, if you're a lifetime member, you already have this style guide. Just go to funnelstoincome.com and download this from your dashboard. Okay, so here we are. This is my Divi design guide. All you need to do after you've downloaded it is to double click, and you're going to get this single file. And this is the file that we're going to use in a moment. So now if I say start building, I'm just going to close out of here. Now remember, we opened this. So this is the file that we need. It's a .json file. Drag and drop it. And then I'm going to say replace existing content and import presets. So basically what I'm doing here is to install some presets, which is going to save me a lot of time designing this website. Because if I were to go in and design each and every module, this will take ages. Okay, so this is what it looks like. So it has my pretty much most of the modules designed ahead of time for me. So there we go. So we have all these designed for us. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to publish this, and I'm going to leave it open because it's easier for me to reference it every time I want to create something. So I'm going to exit. Okay, great. So now let's head over to our dashboard and create a brand new page so we can start designing this. So I'm going to come over here, go to page, and let's add our first page. So I'm just going to call this Mac page. Okay, so now let's go ahead and start building our site. So we are going to now start off with the main hero area. So I'm going to click here on this plus button, and then I'm going to come over here to full width. So instead of me trying to design this all over again, I can just take a look here at my style guide, and then I can just look at the style that I'm really after here. Do I want to have my content like this, or should I have it like this? So I guess I'm going to go with this style here. So back over here now, if I click on this plus button and add full width header, I can now come over here to the top, click on this drop down, and these are all my presets. So all these presets here are pretty much all these styles here. Okay. So let me choose the one I want. So I want dark with left. Okay. So there we go. Now I can just hit save, delete this one here on the top. So now that I have all my content here, I can just go in and, customize this. But what I need to do right away is just to go in and add my content quickly. So I'm going to come all the way down here to my background and click here on background image, and I'm going to add an image. So over here in my library, I have quite a few images that I have already. So let me go with this one, upload image. There we go. So now I already have my image there in the background. I can customize this, and let's say, what should we call this? Okay, let's just call this Farming 101. Okay, and then I can just customize my text here, but I'm not going to spend too much time here on the text. Let's just leave it like that and save. We are going to come back to this in a moment. So let's continue on. I'm going to come over here, and let's say I want to add a regular section. I'm going to start here, and this one here is going to be a text module. Now, what's even easier for me is to open up Lorem Ipsum so that I can just copy and paste the text in here. That will save me a lot of time. Okay, so I'm going to copy that, and let's paste some text in here. Now, what I want for this is to have a title for that section, okay? It just makes things easier for me. So I'm going to set this to heading 2. Now, notice what happens when I set this to heading 2, okay? So now I can come over here to the top and choose my text preset. See that? So that has updated. I'm just going to highlight all this and center it. Okay, that's great. Now let's continue on. The next step now is to add some blurbs. So I'm going to start here by searching for it. Okay, so here everything is by default. So I know I have quite a lot of presets to choose from. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here, scroll down to my blurbs and see which one it is that I want. Okay, so here we are. I want to go with, let's see what style can go with, let me go with this style right here. Okay, so this is style number 7. All right, so we're going to go with 7. There we go. Now for my image and icon, I just want to add some images here. And as you can see, I have some images already. So I'm going to go ahead and select that. That's my first image. And then for my text, I can just go in and just say our vegetables. And this needs a description. So let's copy some text from here. Guys, if I'm going too fast, please let me know so I can slow down a little bit. All right, so we have our description text here. That's looking great. I'm now going to save this. So the next step now is to duplicate this a few times. So let's go ahead and do that by coming over here. There we go. So we have our 3. I'm going to save that. And then over here, I'm going to go in and change my image. All right, so this one here is going to be, let's say, the chickens. There we go. I'm going to save that. Then we're going to come over here. And let's change this to the cows, for example. All right. So that's looking great. I can go ahead now and continue on. So my next section now is going to have a bit of color. So I'm going to go into regular section. And then I'm just going to come over here and add my color. So remember, we have our color palettes that we had here. So this is where you choose your colors, you know, for example, like that. But this is a bit too much. So we're going to change this a little bit. Okay. And then we can start adding our content. So this time I'm going to add 2 equal columns. And in the left one, I'm going to add some text. So let's go to our lorem text. But like I said, in your case, you would need to go in and type in your text for your website. Okay, so let's add a heading here to make this more exciting. I'm going to highlight this, set this to heading 2. And then all I need to do now for my text to be consistent, I'll just come over here and then I'm just going to click on text. And there we go. That is updated. Then over here, I'm going to add an image. So let's go with the tractor. Here we go. All right, so that's looking great. We're also going to add a call to action button here. So let's go ahead and select that. Come over here to my presets, and I'm going to go with button style number 1. In fact, let's go with style number, okay, 1 is fine. 1 is okay. Let's get rid of some of this text here. Okay, so we're going to save that. So let's add another section here with some colors for our blurbs. So I'm going to go with single column here again. Okay, let's choose our blurb. And then I'm going to come over here now to my style guide and choose the style that works. So let's try blurb number 3. Okay, that's the style we need. So I'm just going to change it here quickly. Choose number 3. And I'm going to use an icon instead. So I'm going to come over here and search for my icons. So I want some solid icons here. So my first one is going to be this heart. And I'm not too bothered about the text for now. So let's go ahead and duplicate this a few times so we can have 3 or even 4 of them. Okay, let's go with 3. All right. So you can see here, we have our colors, but if you were to edit your colors and add them here, your colors are just going to be added based on your main color palette from your theme customizer. Now, if you were to change these colors around, so let's say everywhere where this blue is, you wanted to change it across the whole website. As I mentioned earlier on, you would need to go in and change these colors on each and every page. But what if I can tell you that you can change these dynamically by using a different way that colors work in Divi, and this is by doing it globally. So this is what I need to show you now, and this is going to change the way you design websites with Divi, and this is fantastic. I've been playing around with this for the past few days, and this was really, really, really amazing. I mean, you're going to find this amazing. Let me show you. Okay, so what I've done is I've created Colorizer 2. This is a plugin that has all our presets. So this is absolutely free, by the way, for lifetime members. You just go into your dashboard and download it, and you're pretty good to go. Even this Divi design guide, it's absolutely free for lifetime members, but I think it goes for $27, and Colorizer is going for $19. I'll leave the links to that in the video description below as well. Okay, so here's the fun part. I'm going to save this page, okay? And now let us exit the Visual Builder, and we are now going to go to our dashboard. I'm just going to open this in a new tab again. So to install it, you need to come over here to plugins and then click on add new. Upload plugin. So I have this downloaded already on my computer. So let me just find it here. Oh, there we go. So here it is. It's called Colorizer 2. Just drag and drop it here. After downloading it, click install. And then activate. Okay, so now that our plugin has been activated, it's time now to install it. So you want to come over here to the bottom left of the screen, click over here, and then you want to go ahead and import it. So this will take a while, and just like that, we've just imported it. That's brilliant. Okay, so I don't need this anymore, but before I delete it, in fact, let's just delete it right now. I'm going to come over here to plugins. So here it is. I'm going to deactivate and then delete because we don't need this anymore. Okay, so if I do have any updates, I will let you know via email, and then you can just download the latest one. Okay, so what has this done to our website? I'm going to now come over here to pages and then click on all pages. You're going to notice now we have a brand new page called Colorizer 2. Okay, let's view this page and see what this page looks like. All right, so we can see here now we have this color palette. So this ideally is the way that you need to use colors on your website. It's very important that you have your primary color, your accent color, your section background, your hover color, white, and your text color. It's very, very important. In fact, I've gone ahead here and I've described it here. So as you're designing your websites in Divi, you pretty much need to follow this format. But what's really exciting now is if we now head over to our colors, every time we start designing our site, in fact, let's go in here so I can show you. I'm going to enable the Visual Builder. So if we were to go to pretty much any place here, let's say I go into our module settings and I want to change something. If I go to my design and let's say I want to adjust my text colors, I'll come over here to title text. You notice that these normal colors that we normally use, I've blanked them out to make them all white, because this is not how we want to use our colors moving forward. Ideally, we want to use global. And you can see here we have a new color palette called global. So you may be saying, okay, but Mac, these colors that you have here don't work with the colors that I want to use on my website. And that's great because you can now create a brand new color palette and add it into the global and then start designing from there. Now, let me show you how that would work. In fact, you know what, guys? Let me take a look at some of your questions here. Oh, no questions so far. That's a bit strange. Anyway, guys, if you do have any questions, please ask me in the comments box and I'll do my best to respond to them. Okay? Hi, Monique. Good to see you too. That's awesome. All right, so let's continue on. So as I was saying, we are now using these colors here. They're called global. Okay, so you would need to start adding your colors using this global menu. Now, let me show you how it works. And you need to really pay attention because sometimes you can make a few mistakes and it can be very frustrating, okay? All right, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna come over here to colors. So let's say I wanna create a brand new color palette for my website that I'm going to be working on. And by the way, Colorizer can be used on a brand new website as you start designing your site, or on an existing website. It may take long on an existing website, but if you start off this way, your website colors are going to be changed just like that, and I'll show you how that works. Okay, so this is our color palette, but we want to replace this. So what we need to do is to come over here to colors. So here you can create your own color palettes, okay? So you can just, oops. So I find it very easy to cycle through this to choose your colors that you want to use for your website. So let's say for our branding, and now I'm doing this very randomly. I haven't, as you can see, I haven't gone in and really thought this through to come up with my color palette. So I'm just gonna go in and start choosing my colors. So for my site, I'm gonna go with this green here as my main branding color. So I know that at some point I'm going to need, let's lock this down. I know at some point I'm going to need a color that really works well with this as well. So let me continue on and cycle through here. And I like this color here. Maybe this could work for my call to actions. I'm going to drag and drop it here next to this. Okay. So I want to make it brighter. Okay, so that's going to be my call to action. Okay, so over here, we're going to lock it. Okay, so let's cycle through this and see if we're going to get any like interesting colors. So there's one color I'm looking for. Okay, we have this light green here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to the shades and I'm going to go as light as possible like that. So this is going to work as my background for my sections. Okay. Okay, so these are the main three colors that I need. I don't really need these two. So it's my main branding color, my accent color, and then my section background color. Let's add this to Colorizer. So I'm going to copy the hexadecimal value here. And now I can now go into my Colorizer. So enable the visual builder and start adding your colors. And this here is how you add them. You click here on row settings. And then next, now these are all labeled. Click here on this gear icon to go into your primary, click on the background, and then you want to click on this eyedropper tool, okay? You're gonna paste your color and then save. It's asking you here, are you sure? Just say yes, and then save it, okay? Now, sometimes it doesn't show up right away and it can be very confusing, but it's okay. Let's save that. Oops, I shouldn't have come out of that. Anyway, now it's time to add the next color. So it's our accent color. I'm going to come over here, go to my background. So let's go to colors, copy my color here, then back. I'm going to paste it over here now. So you can either go into global like that, or you can just click here on this eyedropper tool and paste it. I'm going to click here on this check mark and make sure you click on the check mark, because if you don't, things won't work correctly, okay? So now I've saved that. I'm going to click here on this back arrow. And this time I want to go to my section background, which is this color right here. I'm going to click on this gear icon, scroll down, And here it is. I'm going to click here, come over here to colors. This is the color. I'm going to copy it. Now, the reason why we need this section background is we just want to distinguish our sections as we are designing our site. Okay, let's go ahead and save. Save one more time. Okay. So you notice what happened here. The color changed a little bit. Sometimes you may throw you off and think, oh, maybe something has happened, something has changed. But there's a bit of a lag when you add these colors here. That's what I noticed, you know, so don't panic if it doesn't respond that fast. So next color here is going to be my hover color. So let's go back in. Click here on this gear icon. And then you want to come over here to background. So let's copy our colors. So here, what I normally do is, because our accent color is going to be used pretty much as our call to action, I'll come over here to the shades and just choose a lighter shade, okay? Or even a darker shade, as long as there is a bit of a difference in the colors. So let's go with this color here. I'm going to copy it. And then back, I'm going to paste it over here as my hover color. Excellent. So you can see here it's updated. And then we're going to save one more time. There we go. Okay. So everything is all saved up. This is my new color palette. I normally leave the white and the black. In fact, this is my text color. It's a very off gray. Okay, it's a very dark gray. So make sure your text is always dark gray, because that's the color you're going to use pretty much throughout most of your website. So leave it as dark gray. You don't want to really play around with the color. But if you are a bit more confident and you're advanced, this is where you can use a darker shade of, let's say, your brand color. Like, for example, you may want to use brown for this example, and so on. Okay, so now that we've done this, let's go ahead and save. So we're going to save this page. So we don't really need this anymore because we know what our colors are. We can now exit the Visual Builder and close. At any point, if you want to know what these colors are, you can just come over here and read over here. Okay, let's now go back to our page and let's start designing. So I'm going to close out of here. Okay, so I started off with a basic color palette, which I had when I started off. You can see here we have this blue and so on. So ideally now, you want to go in and start changing this. Okay, so our button here needs to change. So we're going to come over here, and to change it, we're going to use our new colors now from Colorizer 2. Click on design, and what we need here is button. So I'm going to click here on this paintbrush icon. So the first thing I want to do, in fact, instinctively, you want to come over here and make your changes. As the moment you start seeing colors here, you should know that you've done something wrong. So don't come over here, okay? Go to global. Oops, so it looks like this hasn't updated. Let's reload. Okay, let's go back in. Hopefully this has been updated now. Okay, let's go to our body text. Okay, button 1. Okay, there we go. You can see here, this is updated. I was really panicking for a little bit here because this is live and sometimes crazy things happen. All right. So like I said, when you're here, this should remain white, okay? Do not add any colors here. Like I said, it's very, very instinctive. You always want to come over here because this is how we'll be doing it over the years. So make sure you come over here to global. All right. So with our global color selected, so this is what we need to change, right? The colors here. So this is where you choose your color. So I'm going to select my color, and you're going to see now this little triangle here, which shows that now we're in global mode. So our color here, our button here has been updated. Let's add our hover color by coming over here. And then I'm going to click here on hover, and we're going to add our hover color, which is that one. And it's global, which is pretty cool. So that's it with our button. I'm going to go ahead and save. Let's move on. So our text here, let's change our text colors as well. I'm going to come over here to my paintbrush icon. And again, go to global and choose our color. Fantastic. While we're here, I'm also going to choose my description text. Go to global, select it. Brilliant. Okay, let's go ahead and save. And then we can continue on and add it over here. Now, I want to fast track here and add it and add my colors here where we can see it. So if I click on this gear icon now, I can now go to my background and update this very quickly. So I'm going to come over here and let's say I want to use this color here for my background. And then I want to start changing my icon color. So again, it's blue. You can see here. Nope, we don't want that. We're going to come over here and we're going to use our color here, which is our accent color. And by the way, sometimes it can be used on our call to actions, but it can also be used to add a bit of style on your design as well. Okay, so now that I have this as my design, I'm pretty happy with that. I'm going to go ahead and save. Okay, so I want to apply this design across here. So I'm just going to right click, copy module styles, and then I'm just going to paste module styles like that. Okay, great. So now I can go in and change the icon. So I'm going to come over here to image and icon, and let's change the icon to something a bit different. So what should we go with? Okay, let's go with that one. And then over here, let's change this as well. Image and icon. Choose a different one. So for this one, let's just go with that. Okay. All right. So now we've updated our website. I'm going to hit save. And that's pretty cool. All right. So we also have a few instances here. Let's go ahead and change our button. But now, okay, let's say, come over here to our button, go to global, and then we are now going to change this to that. Go to our hover. Oops, I'm changing the wrong thing. Let's go back. Let's set this to white. Okay, so over here is where we need to change the button background. So let's go ahead and set it like that. Go to, okay, this is our hover state, sorry. Okay, so this is our main one. Choose my color and save. And then over here, we're also going to do the same, update all our colors. I mean, as you can see, it may take a long time to update our website using our global colors here, but trust me, it's going to be very, very beneficial. All right, so we're going to save that. Okay, so over here now on our blurb, let's do the same. We're going to come over here, start with our title, go to global, change our colors, and then over here. Okay. So let's copy our styles, or we can even extend them. Extend blurb styles. Extend blurb styles. It's not responding. Why? Anyway, let's copy styles and paste. All right. So I think we have pretty much all our colors here. I'm going to save the page. Right. So let's say we want to design a totally different website. Oh, save and reload. So let's say we want to totally design a brand new website that has a totally different color palette. How would we design? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a crazy color palette. But before I do that, let me just take a look here at our comments. Do we have any comments? Couldn't you just achieve this the same with just presets? And the answer to that is no. You cannot achieve this with presets. The main reason is colors work differently, okay? So with presets, you can do presets for your text, for your modules, and pretty much everything. But our focus here is on color. We want to be able to change these colors across the whole website just by using one central place, which is the global colors. So in this example that I'm giving you, I've done it the long way, where you've already have designed a website and you want to now apply global colors to your site so that you can change your colors easily in the future. So in this example now, I've set all my colors up, but let's say we have a scenario where your client wants to rebrand the website. You've completely designed it. It's looking amazing, but it's time for a rebrand. How would you change this? So that means you'd have to go to each and every color, and you're going to notice that I am not going to any presets right now. I'm pretty much working on color. Okay, so let's do this now. So I hope that's clear. Let me see if we have another one. Okay, I don't see. And your customer says, you know what? These colors here, they don't work really well for me. I want to change them completely. Okay, so you'd come over here and let's start creating a crazy color palette quickly, okay? And then just show you how we can apply the colors. So let's say this is our brand new color palette, okay? I know it's ridiculous. I'm just gonna make a few tweaks to it. Okay, so don't need that one. So let's say this is going to work as our main brand color. And this is going to be our call to action color. All right, so I'm just doing this at random. So this now is going to be our colors, our color for our call to action. So what you need to do now is to first add your brand color. In fact, you know what? That's too close to what we have at the moment. So I want to change that. Okay, so let's pretend this is our main. Okay, in fact, let's go through this again. You want something dramatic. Okay, so let's say this is our new branding color. Okay, so what you need to do now, after your client has said, you know what, we want a brand new rebrand, you'd come over here, copy the color. So this time, you come back to your color palette, which is in one place, okay? And then you want to add your colors here. So you're going to notice something amazing. When I start adding my colors here, they're going to be updated throughout the whole website. So here's our main page. Exit the visual builder. Over here, we're going to start with our first color. Click here, go to primary, background, and I'm going to replace this. Now, make sure when you change or when you update your color palette, click here where this triangle is. So let's go in. I'm going to paste it in here. And notice I'm going to click here on this check mark. It's very important you click on that check mark, okay? I've saved that. And then back over here, we're going to go to our accent color palette. So let's say this one here is our accent color. Copy that. Click over here. Paste it. I'm going to save. Save one more time. So this is updating throughout the whole website, by the way. Let's go back. I'm going to go to our section background. I know we didn't use this, but this is how you would change it. Come over here. And let's say this is our section background. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to paste it and save. Okay. We're going to go back. Now we need our text color. So for our text color, I just want to change this to something that we can see that it has changed. So let's cycle through our colors again so we can choose a color here that you can see that everything has changed. Okay, so let's go with that. Okay, so it's slightly gray. Okay, so I'm going to change my text color now to that. So I'm going to come all the way down here to text and paste my color like that. Save one more time. Now, as I mentioned before, this takes quite a bit of while to update, so don't panic if the colors are not changing right away. All right, so now that we've changed all our colors, I'm going to exit here. And now let's take a look at our page. So now if I refresh this, now notice how it looks so far. Here is our colors. Here's our button, our section background, and we also have our blurbs here. If I refresh this, notice that our color has changed. You see that? Just like that. Even our text color here has changed as well across the whole website. See that? So at any point, you want to go in and change the colors. These colors are now going to be applied across the whole website. Again, let me show you another quick example. So I'm going to enable the Visual Builder, and this is another way that you can use this. So let's say you want to change our button color here. I'm going to go in, design, and let's change the button. So if I come over here, so I can see here that I have my border. Oops. Border width. We don't need border width. Okay. So let's say I want to change my color. So what you need to do, it's showing you already that this is a global color. So if you click here and then you change it to maybe something like that, notice that everywhere where that color was used, things are changing. So you can see now we have a blue button here. Okay. If we come over here to the top, it also has changed here. You see that? And let me change it one more time so you can see it changing in action. So this is where we are. If I drag, okay, so let's say, okay, let's go over here. So let's say this is the color. Notice that it has changed here as well. And it has changed here on the top. So this means everywhere where our button color has been changed throughout the whole website, it's going to update that way. But not only is it updating the button color, it's also updating everywhere where we use that color on the website. And this is why it's important that we follow this structure here, the primary color, the accent color, the section background, and so on. If you do it this way, it's going to be much, much easier for you to see where the changes are happening. All right, so we've done that for the button. Let's say I save that. So the next color I need to change is my main branding color. So if I come over here, this is the primary color, okay? This dark color here. So let's say I want to change that completely. Like I said, I can change it here, or I can just find a place where this color has been applied, which is right here. Go to my background. And again, I can go in and let's say I want to make it slightly, okay, in fact, let's choose a totally different color here. Okay, let's go with that. Okay. Now that color has been updated and that is my main branding color. So wherever that color has been used, it now has been updated across the whole website. So that is the idea of using these global colors. But what's important here is you have one central place that you can just come and change. So as you're designing your website, you know your primary color is the main one here. So you change that. If you want to change the accent color, you change it here. If you want to change the section background, you go ahead and do all of that. So your text color, you know that if you change it here, it's going to be applied across the whole website. So just to update you on this, or just to add on to this, this is not your presets. I mean, there's nowhere in presets where we can do this. This is global colors. But what you can do to make this really, really exciting, if you have the Divi Design Guide Pro, what you can do is you can apply colors to the Divi design guide. So every time you change a color here on the color palette, all your modules are going to be updated. You see what I mean? So this is a really, really, really cool way of working. So in our next workshop, I'm going to show you how to combine the two. The Colorizer 2, which is this product that I've just shown you, and the Divi design guide, how you can use that to have a complete working package for designing your websites each and every time from scratch, which is going to be consistent. So let's say you want to work on a brand new website, right? So the ideal way to do this is to start off with a color palette. With Colorizer, okay? You install this and you add your colors from the get-go. Do not go to this place here, which is your, let's go to our dashboard so I can show you. Do not come over here anymore, okay, to your theme options. Just ignore this completely. Don't ever use this anymore if you want to design your websites. Just create your color palette. Just install Colorizer. Once you've installed this, add your colors. So you can ignore the base colors and just follow this formula here. You want your primary color here. It's well labeled. You want your accent color. This works great if it's your call to action color. Your section background is great. In fact, you know what? Maybe you may have not noticed. Do you see that here we have a section here which is completely white? And then here we have a subtle color. So this is how this is working, okay? We need a slightly subtle color for our section backgrounds. Otherwise, if you start adding dark colors, it's going to be too heavy, for visually for the eye. So you want to have it this way. Your section here can be white, and then you scroll down here. There's also another section here which is lightly colored, okay? And then you continue on like that. So this is what makes your page balanced, okay? This is why we have the section background here. For our hover color, if you want to have it here, it's up to you, but this is your hover color for your buttons, okay? You can just set it here so that you can always access it. And then white, I just leave that because white is also a color in our design. And then for our text color throughout your whole website, just use grays. But if you're an advanced designer, you can start adding in your specific colors from your color palette. Now, this color palette here is basic. If you are an advanced user, you can actually duplicate this and have even more colors, okay? And still apply the same process. So Colorizer 2 is brilliant for controlling your colors as you're designing your website. Okay, any questions? Okay, I can see here I've got some questions. Where can I find the Divi design guide? Let me just show you quickly. All right, so if you're a lifetime member, you would come over here to to the dashboard. And this is where you're going to see your courses, information about your account and so on. But you want to click on templates, okay? Make sure you click on templates. And there we go. So we have Colorizer 2, we have the funnel crafter, wool crafter, we have site crafter 2. That's strange. I thought I had Divi design guide over here. Do you see how confident I was? That is crazy. Okay, guys, you know what? I'm going to add it just after this live workshop. I'm going to add it over here so it's easier to download. But anyway, once you're here, just click here, download it, and you can just start using it right away. Okay, so that is how you download it. Oh, I really thought I had that in the membership. Okay, Ed. All right. Thank you very much for your comment, Ed. Definitely, I will do that. Is any? Okay. Karen, here, when you're designing your website from the beginning, Karen, yes, it may look like it's the same process as before. That's because I was designing this from as someone who had a designed website already. But if you were creating a brand new website, let me show you how you would do this. So this is the workflow of someone who wants to design a website from scratch. And this is what I highly, highly, highly recommend. Let's spin off a brand new website here. So I use InstaWP. Come over here. And by the way, this is a behind the scenes for you to see how I design my site. So let's create a brand new one here. Divi install, create site. Okay, this shouldn't take long. So in a moment, we're going to have our site. So there we go. I'm going to click on Magic Login. All right. Okay, so now we have our Divi website here. If I click on Visit Site, you can see this is our blank Divi website. So first things first, you want to go in and install Colorizer. So I'm going to come over here to Plugins, Add New, Upload Plugin, and where is it? Oh, there we go. Drag and drop it. Install. Okay, so let's install now and activate the plugin. All right, next you're going to come over here to Colorizer 2 and let's import it. Great. So now that we have all this, this is a very good starting point because we have all our colors. So what's going to happen now is if I come over here to all pages, this is the page which has our color palette. And here it is. Okay. So what you need to do now is as you're designing your website, you follow this guide here. So let's start here by creating a new page. Okay, so let's call this Mac page. All right, so let's build this from scratch. So I'm just going to do two examples here so you can see how this needs to be designed. So if I come over here, I'm going to add a button. So I'm doing this as someone who doesn't have the Divi design guide, okay? I know it's pretty useful, but let's just do it this way. All right, so now I have to build my button here manually. So I'm going to come over here, go to my button, use custom styles. And then you can see here, this is all blanked out, which is good. Come over here to global. And I know this is my color for my buttons. If you're not sure, just click here on your style guide, your color guide, and then this is your color for your buttons, okay? So you choose your text color, add your background color, click on global, okay? And then while you're at it, you might as well add your hover color. Come over here. This is the hover color. Save that. So my button is done. And now let's say you want to add some sort of text on your site. Okay, let's say this is your text and this is your heading. Okay, let's save this. Oh, in fact, before we save it, let's add our color. So we're going to come over here now to our main heading, global, and this is our text color. And then you'd come over here. Same thing for your font. Change it like that. And we're just going to change our font here to Poppins. Okay, great. So we might as well do that for the button as well. Let's change this to Poppins. Okay, so now that we have this, in the future, let's say as you're designing and that this is the buttons everywhere on your site. But for demo purposes, let's just keep it here. So what you would do now is you would go into your button and let's say you're rebranding, right? You'd come over here and change your color here. So let's enable. If you don't want to change it here, that's fine. But this is ideally the best place because visually you can see what is happening. All right. So you'd come over here, click on row settings, go to your accent color, go to background, and then we're going to change it here. So let's say our button is going to change to that. Save, save. And our text color also needs to change. I'm going to click over here. All right, so for my text color, I want to change it to that. So let's choose. Okay, now do you see how my text color now has changed and all my buttons have changed? If all these buttons here were on different pages across the whole website, I would have to go in and change them manually on. This is how Colorizer 2 is helping us to save time as we design our websites. So this is the power of using Colorizer 2 and global colors for Divi. In fact, Colorizer 2 is just a funky name that I have chosen for this product, okay? But we're just using global colors, okay? But the idea that we can customize everything from one place here, this for me makes the design process very, very easy. So for your next website or your client website, you do want to have a color palette like this. Do not use colors the old way that we used to add colors. This is the easiest way. You can update your website. Just a few clicks, the rebrand of your website is done. And this is why this way of designing websites is awesome. But like I said, I'm going to do an updated version where those of you that purchased Divi Design Guide can also benefit from this by embedding Colorizer into the Divi Design Guide. That's going to be awesome. So that's going to be our next live workshop. And yeah, what do you guys think about this process? Let me hear what you got to say in the comments box. I think that would be really cool to see what you guys think about this. And by the way, please give me a thumbs up if you really like this. That would really help. And also, please do share this, by the way. Please do share this as well. Because for all Divi users, it would be really nice if we can design websites the easiest way possible. Okay, so this is pretty cool. And this was released yesterday, by the way. Yes, it does save time a lot. Okay, it does save time. Think about it. If you had buttons on your design, on your website, let's say across 20 pages or 10 pages, if you don't do this process, you would need to go into each and every button and change it that way. That is the problem with doing it the older way, right? Because these are global colors. Of course, in the if you were to update these colors in the presets, yes, you could achieve that, but it's only doing it on the actual item, right? But if you wanted to upgrade your branding, there are several places where your colors are used for specific items. So those will be updated again throughout the whole design. So that is where the power of this comes in. Awesome. So a lot of you are loving it. That's fantastic. All right. So like I said, for lifetime members, this is available for you. In fact, I'm going to add it right away. It's going to be in the downloads. Okay. bird view. Here's the thing, right? Let me see if I can give you a very, very good example here. How can I do this? Let's go to our style guide. Let's go back to our website, which had the style guide. Okay. I am going to close out of here. Okay. So here we have our colors and we also have our color guide. So let me just give you a practical example of what's the difference. So let's go to dashboard. Let's go to our brand new page. Okay, so here, let's add a blurb. I'm going to come over here and choose a different style. In fact, let's see what styles we have here. Okay, let me just choose the style. I know I should have opened the page. Okay, there we go. Let's add something else here. And maybe this could be some bar counters. You know what's easier? Let me just go in and open up the style guide page and then show you that way. Let's go to pages. Okay, let's view. Okay, so let's build something now using our colors. So let's say this main heading here is going to be part of our design. Okay, let's do that. Full width header. And we are going to go with our first style. Oops. Okay. So for this, I am going to use my branding color. So let's first add an image. And the image we're going to add is this one. Okay, so we have our image there. And now let's go to design. Let's go to overlay. And let's say this is our overlay color. Okay, and that's our main brand color, right? In fact, you know what? We want to use our old way of choosing colors. Okay, let's choose our old way. So I can show you this example. Okay, so let's say we are going to use this color here as our main branding color, right? So that's going to work as our overlay. And I'm also going to add the color to the button, okay? So when I save this, right? When I save this as a preset, and I'm going to show you in a moment where the difference is. So I'm going to come over here and then I'm going to say, let's create a new preset from current styles. And I'm going to say this Mac preset, okay? With that color. Brilliant, okay? That's great. So that's stage number one. Now, I'm also going to create another button. So let's go to regular. And let's add a button here. Like that. And let's say I want to use this color here, the same color that we used as my button, as an example. Ideally, I wouldn't use it this way, but I just want to show you where the difference is. So if I come over here now to design, in fact, you know what? Let me just go to my preset here and choose button 1. And then I'm going to go into the button itself and change the background color. So I'm going to do it the old way again. I'm going to come over here and paste my color. Okay. I have a border here. Paste my color. Okay, great. So I have this background here and this button using the old way. In fact, let's get rid of this. We don't need that anymore. Okay. So that's the old way of doing things. So I'm going to go in and let me fix my overlay by coming over here. In fact, you know what? Let's delete our background first. We don't need that. Okay. So over here, I'm going to come to my overlay and I'm just going to drag this a little bit down here so I can see a bit of my vegetables there. Okay. So that's my color. Now, let's say, because these are presets, by the way, and to prove that this is a preset, if I come over here and you can see here, it's Mac preset. Okay. If I come over here to the button, you can see here is the button 1 preset. Okay. So let's say I want to change this color where it has been used on my website. If I change it here, okay, it's not going to change over here, even though this is a preset. So I'm going to come over here, go to my presets. Okay, I'm going to go into preset settings. No, in fact, let me just go in and change it. I'm going to come over here to my button. And let's say I would like to change the background. So I would click over here and I want my background to be that. You notice that this one here has not changed. And this is the big difference. We want that whenever we change our main color, let's say it's the main branding color, that color updates the whole website. So if you do it this way, it doesn't update across the whole website. It just updates that particular thing. So in this case, we've changed the button color. It'll just change the button globally. Okay. Unless now you're adding another layer of, okay, I've changed the button. It's global. Now I'm going to change the background. It's global. Now I'm going to change the blurb and do it that way, that way, that way. It can be achieved because you have presets, but it's longer. Now let me do this with the way that I'm suggesting now, okay? So I'm going to, are you guys seeing my screen here? Yep, okay. So now, let's go back to our old color. Okay, so let's say this color here is what we need to apply to our color palette. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here. And first of all, I'm just going to make sure that I've added my color here. Like that. So that's my main branding color. I'm going to save. Save one more time. Okay. Right. So if I were to design this, I would come over here. And this time, instead of adding my color, I'd come over here to overlay. Go to global. In fact, I need to refresh this because this hasn't updated. So I want you to notice the difference now. Okay, let's exit the Visual Builder first and refresh it. Okay. So the difference now is I want to add these colors now by clicking here. I'm going to go to Design, Overlay. So I'm going to come over here to Global and choose my color. Okay. So this is the global color that I've just chosen as my overlay color. Okay. I'm going to come over here to my button, go to design, go to button, and I'm going to come over here to my global. And just make sure that this is set to global and save. Okay, let me just fix this. I don't know why my global color here isn't showing. Okay, so for my overlay, something is strange here. Unless this overlay tell you what, let me just add a background color here so it makes it easier. I'll add it from here. Okay, so here's my color. And I think the problem here is on the image because it's set to darken. That's why. Okay, let's get rid of that. That was what the problem was. Okay, so now for my color to show, I just want to make sure that I remove overlay over here on the design so I can just do it from one place. So just going to go in. Okay, so now let's use this as our main background color. So for my color to show, I would need to make sure that this is set to multiply. And you can see now that's my color. Okay, so let's say in the future, because now I've applied my color on here and on the button. So let's say in the future, I want to change the branding of my website. In my first example, if you were to go to your preset, you would change your preset here and it will just change here alone and not on the button. But notice what happens now. If I change this color here, I'm going to go in and let's say I want to change my branding color, go to my background, and I want to change this to something like that. Okay, I'm going to save this, save one more time. Okay, let's save the page. And now if I, oops, where is it? Okay, here it is. If I save, this should now update this color and the button at the same time. There we go. You see that? The button has been updated and that has been updated. So what's essentially is happening is where your color has been applied across the whole website, every single instance of that color is going to be updated, not the module. So this is where the big difference is. I hope this makes sense because, oh my goodness, I feel like I've been going in circles trying to explain this. But yes, colors will apply. It's like kind of like presets for colors. Let's put it that way. Wherever a color is used, you update it once and it updates it across the whole website. Okay, the color. But in presets, of course, if you change your color for a particular button to a different color, it will update across the whole website, but only for the button. It won't do it for the blurb. It won't do it for the number counter. It won't do it for some sort of background. It won't do it for your icons. It only does it for that thing. But with Colorizer, if you use the same color for your buttons, for your blurb background, for your icons, if you change that color, your brand color, it updates the brand across the whole website. I hope I'm clear. Okay, do you get it now, guys? Do you get it? Or maybe I need to explain it another way. Oh, okay. Yes, absolutely. So the Colorizer is a global style guide for colors. Yes. And like I said, in the next live workshop, I want to make this even easier because I should have thought of this before. I want to make it even easier because ideally the Divi design guide is supposed to have the color as well. All All right. So pretty much I'm telling you what I'm going to have in the next live workshop. So yes, the Divi design guide is also supposed to have the color guide inside, because it doesn't really make sense that you have the style guide and then you have the color here and things are working, a bit crazy. But this is something I'm working on. I'm going to combine the two so that this could be used amazing. That way now, bird view, in what you are saying, which is valid by the way, if we change the color of a button, and that's a brand color, everywhere else that brand color has been used is going to be updated. So that's where the power comes in. But the good thing is, even if you use this colorizer, you can also add colors as you're designing and make them global as well, which is really, really good. So it can also be updated as time goes on. Awesome, 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 guys. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. Really, really appreciate it. Links to Colorizer in the video description below. There's also the Divi design guide. It's in the video description below. And what else? Oh, if you're a lifetime member, all these tools that I'm creating are going to be absolutely free. And guys, I am going to be creating so much stuff that will make the design process much, much easier. And just to give you an inside information, okay? Divi 5, if you haven't heard, is already on alpha, okay? It's gonna be coming out very, very soon. And if you're a lifetime member, you are going to get access to the new Divi, because all these courses that I have are all going to be pretty much irrelevant, okay? So all the new courses that I'll be creating and all the child themes and tools and everything, they are all going to be brand new. And if you're a lifetime member, you are going to get access to all of that at no extra charge. So make sure you sign up for your lifetime membership right now while the time is there. I have a fantastic discount. I think it's 70% off. I'll also leave the link to that in the video description below. Very, very important. Now, in the next workshop, as I mentioned, I'm going to be showing you how to combine these two so that your design process is going to be much, much easier. And that's the goal of all of this. And by the way, guys, if you haven't purchased Divi, they have an anniversary offer. It's 20% off. I'm going to be creating a video very, very soon mentioning my bonuses if you haven't bought Divi, which I will include in that if you purchase Divi using my affiliate link. All right, guys, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you again in the next one. Take care.